Self-hypnosis can be done in these various steps. So if you want to write them down, you can. So the first step is to make sure that you have enough time without being interrupted. A time and a space where you won't feel like you have to go somewhere, do something. Definitely don't do it when you're in a car. And you need to basically make sure of your safety and privacy. You can put your phone on like do not disturb and set aside a good half an hour to get this done, right? Listening to the self-hypnosis that you would record for yourself could put you into a certain like more drowsy state. So it's really important that you're focusing only on this while you do it. Make sure your position is comfortable, but that you're not going to fall fully asleep. So reclining, laying back when you're not too sleepy, all of these are good positions. If you want to sit up straight, that's also okay. Some people practice it lying down, and they say it's really okay to fall asleep while you're listening to it because it enters your subconscious even when you're asleep. So it's really up to you, but I'd say at least for 1 or 2 times that you repeat this, it would be good to be able to listen to the whole thing and not just fall asleep each time you do it, right? The best timing to do this is when like you're waking up or you're going to sleep. You can do it in the middle of the day too, but it'll take you a little longer to get through the relaxation steps. So it's easier when you're already relaxed to kind of bypass those steps a little bit faster, and then you can get into the actual central piece of the hypnosis, right? So you start with the relaxation, which often involves progressive relaxation. So you're relaxing your scalp, your forehead, your back of the neck, your ears, your jaw, and so on and so forth. Progressively going through each of the parts of your body until you really feel every single part relaxed. And you want to envision your internal organs relaxing too. So relax your heart, your lungs, your liver, so on and so forth. So don't just focus on the outside, but also the inside of the body. So you really feel relaxed, right? The next thing that you do when you feel that sense of relaxation, so you have the initial layer of relaxation set at this point. If you're feeling, so before you do this part, if you're feeling really restless physically, so you may want to do some stretches or do something physical. So sometimes people like to go for a walk to get that extra energy out of the body so your body can actually relax into a more inward-looking state. And then we have the visualization of a natural setting or a comfortable indoor setting as per your preference, because we don't want it to be like, okay, some things have maybe triggered me in a certain natural setting, so I prefer to have an indoor setting. It's really fine. So long as you feel that it's beautiful and comfortable and it will further your relaxation, that setting is the ideal one for you. So usually people pick a natural setting because nature tends to be quite calming and healing for many people. But it's really up to you, right? So you can set the natural setting in such a way that the temperature of the place is really comfortable for you. If you like beaches, you're on a beach. If you like rainforest, you're on a rainforest or waterfall. It's really your thing. So if you have your own memory of a really nice natural setting, you can use that. But if you don't, you can also just make it up. So visualizing this natural setting is something you want to do in a lot more detail. So how it feels if suppose you're on a waterfall, to have the spray of the water on your skin, and maybe the sound of the heavy fall of water, and maybe some frogs or birds that are kind of croaking and singing in the background. So try to make it really as real sensorily as you can, because you're actually bringing your mind into that space, and you're moving away from this reality into one which is internal instead, right? So if you're taking notes, if you have any questions, just write it down. We'll address it right after we go through the steps, right? So you're walking through this natural setting, and then you see these steps, 10 steps. That's the classic, right? And you suggest to yourself that as you walk up those steps or down, usually it's down, you suggest to yourself, this is called auto-suggestion, that you feel even more relaxed, and layers of tension are just evaporating or like melting away as you breathe. And each of the 10 steps, you feel increasingly more and more and more relaxed, right? And you can say to yourself, the breath is deepening, it's slowing down, you feel safe, your body feels heavy, you feel comfortable, even more comfortable, and so on and so forth. And essentially suggesting to yourself that you achieved a certain amount of relaxation by walking or stretching before. Then you're achieving the second layer of relaxation by doing your progressive relaxation through the body. And now the third level is being in a natural setting, which is relaxing to you. And the fourth is going down these steps. And this 10 steps is a symbol for moving from your conscious mind into your subconscious mind. So that's what it's supposed to achieve. Then we have, this is an optional step, what's coming up is a potential companion, right? So you could have your animal guide, spirit animal guide, or your externalized inner self, like you're meeting your older self or your younger self or your higher self. It could be a tree that's your companion, that you are connecting deeply with the tree, like we talked about last time, how trees can be, spiritual teachers. It could also be like someone that you know has been like in your corner all their life, someone who will guide you, maybe a teacher, a grandparent, anyone who you look up to as someone who can help you and be there and you feel completely safe around them. Some people have also used God, a presence of God. And if you don't feel like having a companion, you don't need to have any companion. So this is just a way to kind of have someone who you create as your clinical hypnotherapist in your own subconscious. So it can be when it's your externalized inner self, which could be also your higher self. It is essentially you telling yourself, but inside your own subconscious, if that makes sense, right? And this is where, so when you have this companion, usually the companion will say, why don't you lie down here or sit here in some comfortable spot, and we'll work on this thing that you want to achieve, right? And then that's where the affirmations or auto suggestions need to be input, and we'll work on how to craft them. It's good to have around three, maximum of three at a time. So suppose you want to quit something like sugar or smoking, or if you feel scared of something, right? Your affirmations will be stated in the positive. So you don't say, I am no longer scared of XYZ. It's more that I feel free and brave and happy in these settings that would normally scare me, right? And even when you are talking about some habit you want to break, something you don't want to involve in your life anymore, you can, instead of saying, I'm not drawn to sugary foods anymore, you can actually say something like, I love fruits and vegetables. I've developed a new taste for them. They feel very satisfying to me. Or whatever else you think you need to be eating more of, and keep the focus away from the sugar, right? You can say something like, I feel free from my emotional cravings that used to draw me towards unhealthy habits. You can say, I feel free to eat only when I'm hungry, like when I'm genuinely hungry. I feel free from emotional eating, right? So the freedom of what you can do takes the focus rather than what you don't want to do. So you don't want to bring in those elements into your subconscious attention. You want to keep the attention on what you want to feel and what you'd like to do. So suppose your goal is to develop a daily exercise routine. You can say, every morning I feel fresh much earlier than usual. And with the, now that the sun is out more, I feel this restless energy to go do something physical. So I end up taking a walk around the block and feeling really fresh and energized by that walk. So if that's your affirmation or auto suggestion, and once you repeat this process enough times, you will start to feel a sense of restless energy in the mornings. And you're like, okay, I really need to go for a walk. I really feel compelled to go for a walk. I feel drawn to physical exercise and movement, and it makes me feel so good when I do it, right? So these are some examples of auto-suggestions that you can use that will help you translate. So what you're doing is you're planting this so deep in your subconscious, and then we'll talk about how you exit the hypnosis, right? So that you're not using just your conscious mind to, or God forbid, willpower, because all of these are very finite and relatively small in terms of the power they have. Instead, if you're using a tapping into the subconscious, the bodily urges, okay, I feel like moving, I feel like lifting weights. I don't feel like I exerted myself enough, and I want to maybe go to the gym, or I want to hold my body weight up in a plank, or whatever that the suggestion is, right? You are planting it into your subconscious so that your body itself changes its response to the idea of exercise, as an example. Crafting those affirmations or auto suggestions is a process in itself, and we can go through each of your goals separately to make sure that we've crafted it in the present tense, not I will, but I do, right? I already do. So that's one, the present tense, and to state it in the positive sense, not as no, I am no longer blah blah, but like I am now, right? So avoiding words like don't, not, things like that is important. So you state more things in the positive. So when you're done with that and you've repeated those words to yourself, as well as imagined what it would be like to be in that state. So you're bringing all your sensory information into that. So you feel to yourself how it would be to, for example, be on a plane and not be scared, right? So you're in a plane, you're feeling good, you're feeling free and liberated. If you used to feel like a sense of fear from flying, instead now you're imagining that whole situation as not at all triggering, but actually a very happy, exciting experience, right? So you feel, okay, what would it sound like? That ding that happens when the seatbelt signs are removed, right? Or the general hum of the engine of the plane. Imagine the situation around you, the way, like who's sitting next to you, what are you talking about, what are you eating? So you're really bringing that into as real as possible as a experience, along with the heightened emotions of I'm really excited and I'm really happy to be free, because it used to be so difficult, but now it's like it's easy now, right? And so you really feel it and you live that and you savor that, the emotion, the experience, the senses of what you're doing, which you in your life right now you're trying to do, but you savor it in that space. So enjoy that for a while. And then you say, okay, thank you to your companion, because your companion is guiding you through all this if you're using a companion, or you're just guiding yourself, right? Then you start to walk those 10 steps back up. So you exit whatever place that you were in with the companion, and you climb up the steps again, and you repeat energizing affirmations. Say, like, I feel a sense of inner power, I feel more energy, I feel really well rested, I feel really good about the change in my life. So as you climb each step, you're saying these kinds of positive things to yourself, so that when you come out into the natural setting and you say, I'm ready to leave this place and go back to my regular reality, the hypnosis itself has acted as a state of deep rest, for you to re-energize. So you wake up, but you come out of it um, feeling really good. And you affirm that as you're walking back up the steps. All right, let me see if there's anything else that I need to. Yeah, so present tense, positive words specific to the association. Suppose you have an association that you want to smoke every time you smell coffee, because you have that association, right? Then you can actually use the association saying, every time I smell coffee, I am drawn to, and then something else instead of smoking. I'm drawn to drink a couple of mugs of water or herbal tea. I feel compelled to drink water. every time I smell coffee. So you're rewriting the association in your mind, which used to be coffee smell equals smoking, and you've rewritten it to be coffee smell now equals going for a walk around the block or drinking water or whatever other habit you want to put there. Like, I want to practice my guitar every time I smell coffee. Whatever it is, right? Or practice something in a new language I'm learning. But some other habit which is positive or neutral, but definitely not harmful to you. So suppose you had an association with smelling coffee and smoking, and you rewrite to say, every time I smell coffee, I want cake. That is another habit which is not going to serve you. So you're just replacing one addiction with another. So you want to be careful to make sure that the association you break is rewritten with a positive habit or at least a neutral habit. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Using your sensory and emotional layers to make it real and when you're affirming it. So these are important when you're in this process. If you want, we can go through which goals you have and maybe some examples of what are the suggestions or affirmations that you could specifically use for your own goal.